for the astrology this week, I am looking at Venus. Venus is huge this week, right? She's been huge for a while, but this week we are looking at Venus. So just a little bit of background, a little bit of background information about Venus. So Venus entered into the sign of Aries back in the beginning of February. So beginning of February, she entered into the sign of Aries, and I'm going to talk about what it means with Venus and Aries in a bit. But she's been in Aries for a while, okay? So we need to bear that in mind. Venus goes retrograde on Monday, the 3rd of March. So tomorrow, for those of us watching live. She goes retrograde. What does it mean when we talk about a planet going retrograde? It basically means it looks like it's going backwards. It isn't really going backwards. It's an illusion. It's an optical illusion, but it looks like it's going backwards. With this retrograde, so currently Venus is in Aries. Venus goes retrograde tomorrow on the 3rd of March, and will eventually retrograde out of Aries and back into Pisces on the 27th of March. So this retrograde that I'm talking about this week is actually not only for this week, it's going to affect us until around the 27th of March. Venus will continue retrograding in Pisces until around the middle of April, where Venus starts going forward again. When Venus starts going forward, it still has to finish Pisces and then back into Aries once more. So it's going to happen quite a lot that Venus is going to be in Aries. So Venus's transit into Aries and the subsequent retrograde in Pisces is huge for us at the moment. It's going to bring about themes of love, relationships, self-worth, and values, which are all going to be taking center stage. This is also one of the reasons why this little workshop, this little talk that I want to do on dealing with the shadow aspect is so relevant right now, because Venus going retrograde makes us all question our self-worth, question our values, and this is where our shadows start coming to the fore. Okay, so as I said, Venus has been in Aries since beginning of February and will be in Aries until later, okay? While Venus is in Aries, Venus becomes fiery, it becomes passionate, it becomes quite self-assured, and this is a time of bold moves in love and relationships and partnerships and connections with other people. All of us may feel a little bit more confident in pursuing what it is we truly desire, whether that be in romance, whether that be in our careers, or even in our personal values. There is a sense of independence and spontaneity that comes through with Venus and Aries as well, but the shadow side of this can be impulsivity and possibly even some impatience. So that is now just Venus in Aries. Now we're going to talk about Venus retrograding in Aries and in Pisces, because it retrogrades through Aries and then it retrogrades into Pisces again. So typically retrogrades are a time of reflection, review, and reassessment, all the RE words. So when Venus goes retrograde, it's basically a call for us to pause, to re-examine areas of our lives connected to love, connected to relationships, connected to our finances as well, because our personal values and our self-worth. So starting Monday, the 3rd of March, this is what we all need to be doing. We need to be looking more at ourselves. We need to be examining areas of our lives that are connected to love, relationship, finances, and self-worth. Okay, so during this phase, the fiery energy of Aries becomes more introspective because it's retrograde. So kind of questions you may ask yourself is, am I being true to myself in love, in relationships, in my connections with others? Am I being true to myself? You could also ask yourself the question of, am I pursuing my desires authentically, or am I pursuing my desires selfishly? Another question you need to be asking yourself right now is, how do I balance my independence with my connection with others? So these are the kind of questions we need to be introspective of, asking ourselves in order to take advantage of Venus retrograding in Aries right now. We can expect possible tensions in relationships. We can expect old flames returning. We can also expect unresolved conflicts surfacing or coming up for healing. So unresolved conflicts that might come up for healing. So I'm just looking there. My dogs are desperately trying to come into the office. I closed the door and they're now pushing the door open because they want to come in and play. And I don't want them playing while we're doing service. So if they do come in, they're in. I do apologize for any noise that may come up. They've just had supper, so they're all playful and full of energy. All right, when Venus retrogrades in Pisces, so this is from the 27th of March to around the 12th of April, there's the noise. So from about the 27th of March to the 12th of April, Venus will be in Pisces, going backwards in Pisces, retrograding in Pisces. So when Venus moves back into Pisces, the energy will soften. It won't be the fiery Aries, it'll be the softer Pisces energy, which means that Venus is going to become more dreamy, more intuitive, and more deeply emotional. Takeaways, you can see the puppies. This is going to give us the opportunity to realign our values with love, with money, and with our self-worth. It's also going to give us the opportunity to have a deeper understanding of our own emotional needs and boundaries, okay? And it also gives us opportunity for fresh starts in relationships, creative projects that are inspired by compassion. So, general guidance for everybody during this time. Okay, so I know I started off by saying I do the astrology for the week ahead, and now I'm sort of covering the puppies. I do apologize. Okay, hopefully they're going to go down the stairs now and go and play down there. I do apologize. So general guidance for everybody. Hey. Play downstairs. Sorry, everybody. I have very large puppies, and yeah, like I said, they are quite vocal. So, general guidance for everybody. Let's try this third time. Third time lucky. I think the puppies have left the office. General guidance for everybody with Venus retrograde, whether it is in Aries and or in Pisces. With regards to your love relationships, your personal connections with other people, it's important that we reflect on our approach to these relationships. Are you honoring your needs? Are you honoring your needs and needs of your partner? I'm going to just have to pause. Hold a second. I muted you so you couldn't hear the dogs, but they're being super noisy. I do apologize. They have a lot to do. I'm telling them to go outside and they're looking at me like, what's wrong, mommy? What's wrong, mommy? What do you want to say to us? Hopefully they're going to stop. All right. So general guidance for everybody in love with regards to Venus in retrograde. So reflect on your approach to relationships. Are you honoring the needs, your needs, as well as the needs of your partner? And it's important that we avoid rushing decisions during this retrograde. With regards to finances, with regards to your money and your self-worth, it's important that we be cautious about spending or making any kind of big investments, especially during this particular retrograde phase. So reassess your financial priorities and long-term goals. Very important that you do that, okay? With regards to your spirituality, use this time to deepen your connection to your intuition. Practice forgiveness, that's a big one, and let go of any old wounds or attachments that you may have. And it's also important that we tap into Pisces' imaginative energy to revisit creative projects and or dreams. Remembering, friends, that Venus retrograde brings introspection with regards to love, relationships, finances, and self-worth. So we're going to go through each sign of the zodiac. I'm going to start at Aries and go all the way through to Pisces, telling you while Venus is in retrograde, what is the best way for you to handle this? What is the best way for you to take advantage of this particular energy? All right. So Aries, let's start with you. So Venus retrograde in Aries makes this a deeply personal one for you. You will find yourself reflecting on your self-image, on your relationships and your values. Are you showing up authentically in your connections with others? Aries, avoid impulsive decisions and focus on self-love. It is important to reconnect with your passions and to refine your approach to love and self-expression. Taurus, for you guys, you're going to find hidden feelings and unresolved issues that may surface during this particular retrograde. You're going to be called to reassess your spiritual and your emotional well-being. Any old fears or wounds that may need healing will come to the surface. Taurus, it's important to spend time in solitude in order to gain clarity on what truly matters to your heart. Okay. Gemini, for you, friendships, networks, and your social connections are under review during this retrograde. Are the people in your life supporting your growth? You need to, Gemini, you need to reflect on boundaries and you need to let go of unbalanced dynamics. Focus on quality over quantity in your personal relationships. Cancerians. So your career, your public image, and your long-term goals may feel a little bit uncertain right now. You'll be reevaluating your ambitions and how they align with your values, okay? It is important for you to take a step back to redefine your priorities. Avoid power struggles at work. Instead, rather focus on aligning your goals with your heart space. Leo, for you guys, your beliefs, your education, and your travel plans will be tested during this particular retrograde. Are you pursuing paths that truly inspire you? It is important, Leo, that you reflect on your personal growth and that you realign with your true purpose. Revisit old dreams or old passions that you may have set aside. That is something that you can also focus on during this retrograde. Virgo, for you guys, this particular retrograde is going to dig deep in regards to your shared resources, your intimacy, and trust with other people. This is a time for you to reflect on financial agreements and emotional bonds that you have with other people. Are they balanced and healthy? Okay. Avoid making major financial decisions. Instead, rather focus on strengthening trust and emotional connections with other people. Now we're looking at Libra. So Libra, your closest relationships are going to be under the microscope in a big way. So are you giving and receiving equally in your partnerships, in your relationships? Libra, please reflect on your needs and what you are willing to compromise. It's important, Libra, that you communicate openly, but avoid rushing decisions about commitments. No pressure at all, okay? Scorpio, for you guys, your daily routines, your health, and your work-life balance are going to take center stage. Are you overextending yourself in pursuit of being absolutely perfect? This is a time for you to reassess how you nurture yourself, Scorpio. Prioritize self-care and let go of habits that tend to drain your energy. Sagittarius, for you guys, it's all about love, creativity, and self-expression. These are the areas that you are going to be reviewing in a big way during this particular retrograde. Your past romantic interests or creative projects may come back to bite you. Are you staying true to your inner child and to your own inner joy? Your sense of joy is important here. Rekindle creative passions and approach love with a playfulness, not with pressure and expectation. Capricorn, this Venus retrograde is going to put the focus on home, on family, and emotional foundations. So it's important that you feel supported and secure in your personal life. Old family dynamics may need revisiting, and it's important that you focus on creating a space for yourself that feels nurturing and aligned with your true values, okay? With your true values. Aquarius, for you, it's all about communication, it's all about learning, and it's all about your immediate focus, like the things that are happening right around you. Misunderstandings may arise, or you may feel the need to reconnect with old ideas or old contacts or people that you've connected with before. I am going to say to you, Aquarius, that it is important that you think before you speak. Use this time to clarify your thoughts and to clarify your intentions. And last but not least, Pisces. We are still in Pisces season, so happy birthday to all the Pisces having birthdays this week. So this particular Venus retrograde Pisces is going to highlight themes of finance, themes of self-worth, and personal values for you. Are you valuing yourself enough? Are you being too hard on yourself? Okay, this is a time to redefine your relationship with money, to redefine your relationship with your own self-esteem. Avoid impulsive spending and focus on building a strong foundation for your future. Okay, so remember, everybody, with Venus retrograding in Aries this week and for the next week. Reflect, don't rush. Avoid making major changes in relationships and or finances. Remembering it's going to force us to revisit the past. So allow old lessons to surface, because anything that happened in the past that comes up now, it's coming up because it needs healing. So remember, my shadow workshop that's coming up is ideal for dealing with healing old wounds. Remember to practice self-love, because Aries energy calls for courage in facing your own true desires. So finally, friends, use this fiery yet introspective energy to align with what your heart truly, truly values. Okay, that is the astrology done. Pat's asked a really good question. Pat's question is, should we be guided by rising sign and birth sign? So just to explain that for a brief second, we all know what our sun sign is. That would be the birth sign that Pat's referring to here. So that is when where the sun was at the time of your birth. So that is when people say, what's your zodiac sign? And you say, I'm an Aries, I'm a Pisces, I'm a Scorpio, I'm a whatever. So that is your sun sign. These horoscopes that I do are applicable for sun signs, but they're actually mostly applicable to your rising sign. The rising sign is what zodiac was rising at the time of your birth. So even if you were born at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever sign was rising on the horizon at 2 o'clock on the day, that is the sign of the way that we do these horoscopes. So if you do know your rising sign, that one will be probably more accurate for you than your sun sign, but your sun sign will still be accurate. If you don't know what your rising sign is, have your chart done. Get hold of an astrologer and have your chart done. Or there are free resources. You can go to astro.com as an example, and astro.com, you can put in your birth details and it'll generate your birth chart for you. I will tell you that if you don't know your exact time of birth, you're not going to get an accurate rising sign. So if you don't have your accurate time of birth, your rising sign is not going to be as accurate as it should